So while we were there, the first day, I remember waking up kind of early because we were kind of just excited to be there. Um, and Casey and I went downstairs to go get breakfast, thinking it was going to be early enough that the lobby wouldn't be full of people. We were wrong. Um, there was at least a dozen dudes standing around with canes. That's when my heart sunk and I realized that this disease takes your eyesight and that I'm going to be a gentleman with a cane. And not one of those cool canes that you see some pimps with. It's going to be one of those canes that I have to use to get around. But I remember thinking that it wasn't going to be, that's not me. I'm not ready for that yet, right away. And then I remember thinking about the next day, or the day before in the airplane, thinking how my eyes have already gotten worse. Or how I realized my eyes were getting worse just by a little thing like that. And then seeing these two guys right when we enter the lobby, I knew that this was going to be a rough trip. Casey and I were there to get some questions answered, for us to meet people. This was the third time I ever got to meet or see anybody with the same eye disease I have. I was definitely super nervous, but we were there to get some answers or some comfort, or just meet people, be able to ask questions. Casey and I were talking about not having kids because of it, because of the eye disease, because it's genetic and I didn't want to pass it on. I actually wanted to know why I had it, because mine is mutated, and I wanted to see if there was an answer for that. I also wanted to see if people had reading disabilities like I do, or how bad their night blindness is, or when people gave up driving. All these questions that I wanted answered. But I remember the first 2 days of this 3-day conference, I was thinking, I'm going to be a guy with a cane. And I remember it being a real rough conference, because the conference, as good as it is, and as good as it was, to me it felt like they were looking for a cure. And I understand that people are still looking for a cure. I was just looking more for answers for myself, which is selfish. But I was definitely there for the wrong reasons. I did make some good friendships, got to meet some awesome people, had fun, laughed a lot, got to meet some amazing people I still talk to on Facebook. But I also, after that weekend, knew that I still wasn't ready to talk about it, wasn't ready to come out with it and say that I was going to be blind, or I'm going blind. But I did get a visit with a few guys, and they asked me if I have had cane training yet. And I said no. What I knew about Washington's laws is they're kind of weird about the whole cane or blind training here in Washington. But what I thought was really cool was one of the guys there named Eric, he actually gave me an ID cane. Which is this guy right here. Which is a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner than a regular cane. But all you do is you hold it out so people see it. He told me to use it in public places, and people will notice it, and they will either move out of your way or ask to see if you need help. Which then I thought back of the flight and going through the airport to Boston, and how I bumped into people, and how getting onto an airplane with a crowd in a confined place, being a big dude and not be able to see people, made me nervous to even raise my arms to put up my bag, because I didn't want anybody in the head. But end of the trip, I made some good friends, and I learned that I never need to be afraid to ask questions.